Increasing RPE on your downsets across the training block could be making you weaker, and here is why. Something that a lot of powerlifting programs will do is they will have an ascending RPE system or a dynamic RPE system, which is something that I use with my clients, especially on my top sets. So what this might look like is week 1, I'm going to have a top set RPE6, then RPE7, RPE8, RPE9 across like a 4-week block. And then our downsets might go something like RPE5, 6, 7, 8 in most typical powerlifting programs. And this might be working for you up to a certain point. When you're a beginner or something like that, you're just early on in your training career, your window of effective training is very, very wide. But as you get more and more advanced and more strong, the window of what actually works for adaptation becomes more narrow. And what might happen in a scenario like this, we're using an ascending RPE model on your downsets, is that the earlier weeks on your training block might actually be below what your actual maximum effective training dose might be. And then later on in the block, you might notice that you have it's just way above what you can actually recover and adapt to. What we want to basically do and become more advanced is kind of find that RPE sweet spot that most people can progress with and stay healthy. And basically, how do you know that your downsets are actually intense enough for you to make progress while managing your fatigue? There's a few things I look for. So number one is your top end consistently going up block to block? If your top set is consistently going up block to block, then you are training heavy enough. However, if it is not, we need to ask ourselves, do we feel fatigued or not? If we don't feel fatigued, we feel pretty fresh, we probably need to increase our average intensity on downsets. If we are not feeling, or if we are feeling overly fatigued, we want to decrease our intensity on our downsets. This is something that is really going to help us be able to actually get those adaptations that we want, because the reality is that most people don't realize is that it's not our top sets that is really making us stronger. Top sets are a good way to have track training progress and see if the rest of our program is actually working. It also can create some more motivation, but it's not the majority of the training volume that's actually getting us stronger. What's actually getting us stronger across the training block is going to be our downsets, and that is what we want to mostly pay attention to. And basically, you want to find that sweet spot and then just see where you are at. So something that I will do in my programs is I will have a certain percentage drop down from their top sets. That I'm basically going to have them where I'm assuming it's going to be around the RPE that is going to be best for them. So if I'm doing like something like on squats, the average RPE is usually going to be around RPE 5 to 6. Usually on a deadlift, it's going to be a sub 5. I find that deadlifts tend to be very velocity based, and then you're basically meaning that they need to move very fast in order for them to move well and not create a lot of fatigue. And then on bench press, I usually like keeping the average intensity somewhere in RPE 6 to 7, depending on what the lifter can handle. And that is what I find for mostly stronger people tends to work really, really well. Beginners can, again, you can go away with a lot broader range. You're not able to really fatigue yourself as much, but that's something that I will typically do. And then as we are progressing across a block, I will add a certain amount of weight. Usually it's going to be anywhere between 5 to 20 pounds that I'm trying to basically have match the rate of adaptation. And how I figure this out is I look at the estimated 1 rep max and how much that increases on a week-to-week basis on average for my lifters. In my spreadsheets, I have like an E1 or M thing that kind of shows exactly how they might be progressing across the block, their estimated max. And then I'm going to be basically looking at that and saying, okay, divide that by 4. This is about on average how much stronger they're getting across the block. And it kind of lets me know how much I need to increase. So at a baseline level, if I'm assuming, maybe, most people are going to be between like a 1 to a 3% rate of adaptation. Like I said, I'm increasing between 5 to 20 pounds per week, depending on the lift and how much stronger they're getting as far as the percentage goes. But usually it's going to be between 1 to 3% of an increase per week. That's kind of what I do. So if you are not making progress and you're having a dynamic RPE system on your downsets too, that's probably the reason why, especially if you're getting stronger. So if you guys want help with this, you guys want help with creating an actual training program that's going to actually take this stuff into account and allow you to get stronger as you get more advanced, as the game just changes, I'm your guy. I'll create customized training programs that will basically allow you to reach your genetic strength potential, and you can just focus on being an athlete and going on in the gym. I've worked with several people that have set world records and have allowed a lot of people who thought they were really cooked genetically rarely actually say that they weren't cooked genetically, they just were following a bad program. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, links are down below to apply for coaching, or you can reach out to me on Instagram at AdamDPeeler with the word ready, and I'll walk you through step by step exactly how I'd help you get to your dream results. So in those DMs. So yeah, hopefully this video was helpful. Got some questions, ask down below.